So if you're not yet aware, a few days ago, Apple announced that it was going to be doing something drastically different with their new iOS update. In line with their AppTracking Transparency framework, there's going to be a lot of changes coming to how Apple allows apps to track their users. And over the past few days, I've been getting a ton of questions as to how this new update is going to affect Facebook ads. Is this the end of Facebook ads? Is it really going to kill Facebook ads forever? And what I can assure you is that by the end of this video, you will know everything that you need to know about the new update, how it's going to affect Facebook ads. And you're probably going to be very surprised because it's not going to affect it the way you think it might affect it. So here are the 5 things that we are going to be covering. Number 1 is a recap of everything that has gone down, because quite a lot has gone down. The second thing is the effect and impact that this will have on Facebook ads and e-commerce. The third thing is the action steps that you need to take right now to make sure you're very well prepared for this new update. The fourth thing is how to adapt and come out even stronger. And the fifth thing is the future of digital advertising and how it's changing forever. This, among many other events, marks what I call Internet 2.0. And I'll be talking all about that and how it's different. What I'm sure of is that this video will be the last one you need to watch on this update because there's literally no stone left unturned. We cover everything from A to C. So I'm really excited to share this all with you. And without further ado, let's go right into it. So first things first is a recap of what has gone down. So let's start with Apple and what this update is all about. Essentially, according to Facebook, Apple's policy will prohibit certain data collection and sharing unless people opt into tracking on iOS 14 devices via the prompt. So they will get a little prompt when they hop on an app, and they will have to give their permission for that tracking to happen. As more people opt out of tracking on iOS 14 devices, ads personalization and performance reporting will be limited for both app and web conversion events. We'll talk more about this later on, but essentially what you need to understand is that previously when someone hopped on an app on an Apple device, they did not have to give their permission to be tracked on that app. In fact, if they wanted to get rid of that tracking, it was a very complicated process. What Apple is doing right now is that they're giving people a prompt asking for their permission to be tracked on this app. Here we can see quite an important tweet by Tim Cook on the subject. He says, "We believe users should have the choice over the data that is being collected about them and how it's used. Facebook can continue to track users across apps and websites as before. AppTracking Transparency in iOS 14 will just require that they ask for your permission first." And here we can see the little prompt that people will get when they log onto an app. And if they say allow, then the tracking will be on. If they click ask app not to track, then the tracking will not be on. Now, Facebook wasn't too happy about this. It will literally cost them billions of dollars in advertising, and we'll talk more about the repercussions on Facebook front later in the video. But essentially what Facebook decided to do is to come at Apple with a not so effective campaign, basically standing up and speaking up for small business owners, as though their main concern is not the billions of dollars lost in advertising. Absolutely no, they are the good guys, right? They're standing up for small business owners and essentially trying to frame Apple as the bad guys here. They put together a whole campaign under the slogan "Small businesses deserve to be heard." And they did a whole landing page. You can see a few videos here of small business owners voicing their opinion. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. I think it's a good campaign, but I think there's just a slight hint of hypocrisy here. Because Apple, especially as of late, just banning a ton of ad accounts, and they've never really stood up for small business owners per se. It's only when things go north that they decide to create this campaign and basically make small businesses the scapegoat. And quite frankly, it looks a bit like a pity party. So that is the recap of everything that has gone down, and now onto the effects that this will have on Facebook ads and e-commerce in general. The main effects that you will see is, first of all, in ad creation, secondly, reporting, thirdly, we've got targeting, and finally we've got dynamic ads. When it comes to ad creation limits, you can only associate your app with one single ad account. Also, each app is limited to 9 iOS 14 campaigns at once. Also, your pixel may only optimize for a maximum of 8 conversion events for each domain. That is that on the ad creation limits. Now, when it comes to reporting limitations, we'll see delayed reporting. Here, they're saying data may be delayed up to 3 days, which is massive. Also, estimated results will not be as accurate. It will probably lead to under-reporting. There'll be no support for breakdowns, so you won't be able to target or optimize based on age, gender, region, and placement. And the attribution window will for now automatically be set for 7 days, but going forward, it will switch to 20-day click-through. Now, when it comes to targeting limitations, your custom audiences will decrease. Essentially, what this means is that retargeting will not work as well as it used to, simply because we do not have as much data as we used to have regarding the actions that these users are taking. So we cannot retarget them based on that. That is essentially what they mean by custom audiences may decrease. And then finally, when it comes to dynamic ad limitations, so the most ideal thing will be to use one single domain and one single pixel. In my opinion, that is good practice anyways, but just keep that in mind when you're creating dynamic ads. Essentially, in a nutshell, the algorithm will have far less data to work with, so ad optimization will definitely be affected. And also ad tracking will become increasingly difficult simply because retargeting is simply not going to be as big of an option. And so retargeting will definitely take a hit because custom audiences will decrease. So that is that for the effect that this will have on Facebook ads as well as e-commerce. And now to the action steps that you must take right now. So the first thing that you must do, and this is mainly for apps, but you need to update to Facebook's SDK. What is Facebook SDK? Essentially what it is a Facebook update to combat the iOS 14 changes. And so by updating to the latest version of the Facebook SDK, you'll be able to personalize ads delivered to people using iOS 14 devices. You'll be able to share apps events from iOS 14 devices. You can continue to measure for app install ads, continue to optimize for mobile app installs, and a bunch of other key metrics and actions that you need to be taken. So that is the first thing that you want to make sure you're doing. The second thing you want to make sure you do is you need to verify your website's domain. And the final thing is you want to make sure that automatic advanced matching is turned on. Here's how you do that, and it's very, very easy. You want to go on Events Manager and select your pixel. Under the details section, select automatic advanced matching. And then you want to make sure that you select the specific data you want to send from your website. So pretty much everything should be turned on. So those are the 3 action steps that you need to be taking right now. And now to the fourth topic, which is how to adapt and come out even stronger. And on the topic of algorithms, I'd really appreciate if you made that gray, ugly looking like button turn blue. The YouTube algorithm finds it extremely sexy when you do that. I'd really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get back into the video. The first thing that I want you to keep in mind is the too big to fail concept. With this change, it is estimated that Facebook will lose 50 to 60% of their advertising revenue. You really think Zuck is going to allow that to happen? I have an odd feeling that he will not. At the end of the day, he's a pretty sharp dude. In fact, Facebook is already coming out with their new technology. It's called event aggregated measurement. And so what Facebook is saying is that it's designed to help you measure campaign performance in a way that is consistent with consumers' decisions about their data. So essentially a way to get around this new iOS update. They don't quite get into what the technology is actually going to do, but what they are saying is that Facebook will introduce aggregated event measurement to support measurement of web events from iOS 14 users once Apple requires the ATT prompt. But it's not just Facebook who's looking to roll out new technologies that involve cookieless tracking. Verizon Media, for example, has launched Connect ID, and essentially what it does is it helps advertisers buy, measure, and optimize ads, all without third-party cookies. So again, a possible way of getting past this resistance from iOS devices. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind on how to adapt and come out stronger after this period is that you should never be married to Facebook ads. Whether you run a social media marketing agency like myself and like most people watching this video and the people that subscribe to me, you should absolutely not be married to Facebook ads. If you have an e-commerce business, you should not be married to Facebook ads. There should be various ways, various levers that you are pulling to grow your business. You should never depend on a platform, something that is out of your control, to literally keep your business afloat and alive. For example, early this year, I saw this with TikTok. There were a lot of talks of TikTok being banned in the US, and a lot of creators lost their mind because they had only built their audience on TikTok. They had not diversified across YouTube, across Instagram. And so they absolutely lost their mind, and their whole business would have been wiped out if TikTok had been banned in the US, right? That is why, for example, this year I made a conscious decision of diversifying our portfolio of services a lot more. Now, I'm not saying I'm offering Google Ads, SEO, email marketing, and social media management all in one package. I'm saying usually we get a client through the door with one core service, and that may be Facebook ads. Once we've had this client in our ecosystem for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, right? We've given them a lot of value on a different service like Google Ads, right? Maybe we've helped them out already, right? Maybe we've already given them some tips. Then we can upsell them to Google Ads. And now we're doing their Facebook ads and their Google Ads and maybe their SEO. And so, for example, with one of our clients, we started doing their Facebook ads around 14 months at this point, okay? Now, 7 months ago, I decided to upsell them to Google Ads and email marketing. And what happened to this client in Black Friday at the end of November is their ad account got shut down, okay? Now, thank God, this is a pretty big client. We're spending quite a bit of money a month, and we have a Facebook rep, and we could get the ad account back up again. But they were getting so many requests through, especially around the time of Black Friday, that it probably took around 3 to 4 days to get the ad account back. And that is a lot of money down the drain. Now, the great news was that we're still doing Google Ads, we're still doing SEO, we're still doing email marketing and making them a ton of money through those other mediums. And so I was actually able to sleep at night because I knew I was generating my client still a lot of money, right? Even though our Facebook ads was completely down. So that is what I want you to keep in mind as well. The fact that you should never depend, rely, or get married to one single platform. But the key is that you must be agile and understand that we are not a Facebook ads agency. I'm not a Facebook ads agency. I'm not a Google Ads agency. I'm not an email marketing agency. I'm just in the business of growing e-commerce businesses, okay? And so whatever is going to generate the highest return for them, whatever is going to make them go faster, whatever is going to grow them the quickest, that's what I'm going to do for them. right? Facebook ads is an amazing platform. Unfortunately, they don't really take care of their users very well, right? And they've also had a lot of media backlash. And so I'm completely fine if in 6 months, in 12 months down the line, they are not the go-to advertising platform, right? Because maybe they haven't developed the right technology. Maybe TikTok has just, completely surpassed them. The algorithm is much better. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shift to TikTok or Snapchat, or whatever it is. Whatever platform is the best platform to advertise on. And that actually brings me to the fifth and final point of the video, which is the future of digital marketing and how it's changing forever. I believe we are entering a new era of the internet 2.0. We are moving into a digital landscape where users actually care about their privacy and about their data. And so we are evolving away from cookies and other tracking technologies. For example, and I feel like no one batted an eye, but if you actually look at Google, for example, right? Google actually announced in early 2020 that they will stop the use of third-party cookies in Chrome before 2022, joining a growing list of browsers ditching the notorious tracking technology. So quite simply, this is not a one-off event. Google's already on the same wagon, and so are a lot of other companies. If, for example, we take a look at The Great Hack, which is, by the way, an incredible documentary, I really recommend you guys watch it. It basically details the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and it basically voices the concerns and shines a light of the massive problem with data privacy and security. My point here is, I don't think moving towards an era of an internet where people are more secure, where people are more conscious about their data is a bad thing. It simply means that there's going to be a lot of change, and the great thing about change is that it usually brings about a lot of opportunity. Some people will adapt to what's happening in the market, and they will embrace the new technologies. They will know these new technologies better than anyone out there in the market. They will adapt them quickly without hurrying or without freaking out, and they will come out victorious. Again, looking at history, because I truly believe you can learn a lot from history, a lot of advertising platforms have gone massive changes. And when these massive changes took place, people thought the world was ending. For example, Google SEO used to be all about backlinks. So the way to rank on Google back in the day was all about how many backlinks could you have to your website. Now, what happens is that we as advertisers like to usually abuse things, right? And so people abused it and they created backlink farms. And so what Google then did is they drastically changed the algorithm to reward not just the backlinks, but also the content of that website. Everyone thought it was over, and quite frankly, for many it was, because they were just relying on those backlink farms and those backlinks to actually grow their business, which is a very bad strategy. You should never put all your eggs in one basket, especially on something that is out of your control. But a lot of people use this as an advantage, and they started ranking way higher than they used to, and they started growing their business way faster than they ever could with the old algorithm. My point is, the world keeps spinning, change is inevitable, and it's how you respond to it. And all you gotta do is do whatever it takes. So that is that for this breakdown. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. I'd really appreciate if you just smash the like button down below. Helps out with the algorithm, the whole channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, leave down below in the comments any questions you may have on this whole topic, and I'll be sure to check those out. If you haven't subbed to my channel, there's so much content coming out on this topic as well. If you haven't subbed to my channel, I'm going to be posting updates on this one topic, as well as SMMA, e-commerce, digital marketing, and a bunch of other really cool topics. So if you don't want to miss any of that, go ahead and sub to my channel, hit the little bell icon so you never miss an update. I'm also going to be posting more consistent updates on my free Facebook mastermind. It's an incredible community full of like-minded people. It's called the Client Closers. And yeah, it's an amazing group of people looking to scale their agency, level up in life, and become a world-class entrepreneur. So if you want to join that community, go ahead and check out the link in the description. Go ahead and apply. And if you're a good fit, we will let you in. And as always, hope everything's going well in your journey, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.